What's up, MFFLs? Happy Monday to you. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Unfortunately, the Mavs didn't get help from Golden State last night, so they're one game back of the 3 seed in the Western Conference. We'll break down an updated playoff picture coming up later on in the show. By the way, I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Mavericks Today. Could Dallas go out and trade for Rudy Gobert this offseason? There's some reporting out there from Tim MacMahon that it could be a possibility, and I think the main reason why is that Utah's future is very unclear. Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, they don't get along. They have a strained relationship going back to the whole COVID mess when Rudy Gobert thought it was funny when he went up and touched all those phones, and that was an issue within that locker room. I think there's other issues between him and Mitchell. Some believe the Jazz could blow it up if they don't make a deep run in the playoffs. They keep blowing 20-plus point leads, and for Gobert, 4 years, $170 million left on his contract. So he's a guy that obviously would cost a lot on your salary cap to go out and get. I will say this. I do think the Mavs are missing a legit big. Now, Dwight Powell, what he's doing right now, the way he played against Milwaukee, tremendous. But you don't want him as your primary big man. Like, if he's your energy guy off the bench or even your second forward that you start, cool. But you need a legit big man, which Gobert is. Jazz are starting to melt. Donovan Mitchell reportedly wants out. We'll talk about D-Mitch later on in the show. Could he be an option for the Dallas Mavericks? But I do think that if Utah doesn't make a run here, there's a real chance that their roster could look a whole lot different this time next year. Tim MacMahon, who's covered the Mavs and the NBA for ESPN.com for a while, he joined Zach Lowe on the Low Post podcast and said this, quote, "I know externally and internally that the Mavericks would have significant interest, and I know Rudy well enough to know that he would love to play with Luka. I think the Mavs would be as aggressive as any team. Now, the question is, what kind of deal could they put together? How many picks are they willing to put in there? The idea that Donovan Mitchell is going to spend his entire career in Utah is absolutely ridiculous. That's one of the things that's staring them in the face this summer. That's also one of the things that has been looming over this franchise all season long. So while Utah could be shaking things up, maybe Dallas is a team that benefits by going out and getting a guy like Rudy Gobert or maybe even a Donovan Mitchell. Now, Gobert's remaining contract is hefty. Next season, going to make $38 million. The year after, $41. Year after, almost $44. Then he's got a player option of almost $47 million in the 25-26 season. And this is a guy that's going to be 30 next season. So it's not like Rudy Gobert's 24 and getting better. Sure, maybe he's getting a little better still, but he's not getting any younger. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now, 15 and 15 and 2 blocks per game, and his defensive versatility is very valuable. He's a great roll guy, too. Luka throws those alley-oops in the little pick-and-roll game better than anybody. I think he would fit really, really well here. But the contract's hefty, man. The contract's hefty for a guy who can't really create his own scoring. Alley-oops, offensive rebounds, putbacks. That's how he scores offensively. It's not like you're posting him up and he's going and getting you buckets. Now, that's not what you're paying him for. You're paying him for elite defense, elite screen setting, and rolling to the basket. Like, he does a lot of things, but it's a lot of money for a guy who's not, a 25-point scorer. He's a 15 and 15 guy and a defensive first guy. Those guys are valuable. A lot of money, though, for a guy who's going to be 30 next year. So here's a trade idea I cooked up for you guys. Rudy Gobert in a second to Dallas for Davis Bertans, Tim Hardaway Jr. Those guys kind of match up the money there for Gobert, and 2 first-round picks. It's a lot, but 2 firsts isn't that much. Bertans, who cares? Hardaway, you got Dinwiddie. You don't necessarily need Tim Hardaway. I'd rather keep Dinwiddie over Hardaway anyway. What do you guys think? Who wins this trade if it were to go down? Type DAL for the Dallas Mavericks. Type UTA for the Utah Jazz. Get your votes in and let us know who wins this trade between Dallas and Utah. Now, the NBA playoffs are just around the corner, and our coverage is ramping up here at Dallas Mavericks Today. That's why you guys should subscribe right now, youtube.com/MavsTV. If you are a true MFFL, Mavs fan for life, and if you love the Mavs, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. No one's going to cover this basketball team as well as we will here at Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. All right, let's talk a little D. Mitch, too. I think he's less likely to come to Dallas, but I do think he's going to leave Utah eventually. You guys saw the quote from Tim MacMahon just a little bit ago that the idea of him staying in Utah long-term is ridiculous. There's been a lot of rumors that he wants to be a New York Knick eventually. I think the bigger impact on Dallas's side of things here is that Donovan Mitchell leaves, which makes Rudy Gobert more available. I don't think that Donovan Mitchell would end up in Dallas. Now, it's fun to explore, and that's what we're doing here. Could the Mavs end up with Mitchell instead of Gobert? I might actually be more interested. He's a little bit younger, and he's a score-first guy. But positional value, obviously you need a big more than Mitchell, but I do think Mitchell is more valuable than Gobert because Mitchell can go give you 25, 30 points any given night. He's averaging 26 points per game this year. He's combo guard type. He can be your secondary playmaker as a starter next to Luka Doncic. He shoots the ball well enough. I think he can be an ISO scorer as well as a scorer within an offense as well. Now, the big rumor, like I said, is that he wants to go to the Knicks. That's the big chatter. That's the big rumor, that he wants to bring the Knicks back and, play in the bright lights of Madison Square Garden, and that's what he wants. That's what it sounds like. But you don't always get to choose exactly where you go if you are under contract. And if Dallas gives Utah a good enough offer, then I think it could be a possibility here. Here's a trade idea I cooked up for D. Mitch, and it's really a sign and trade. Jalen Brunson and 2 firsts to the Jazz for Donovan Mitchell. You'd probably have to ship out Bertans and Dinwiddie to help clear out money, but could happen. You get a good player in Jalen Brunson if you're the Jazz. That's a first-round pick worthy, and then 2 more firsts. 3 firsts for D. Mitch. It's about what it's going to cost for a guy of his caliber. Now, who would you rather have for this team right now? Type 27 for Rudy Gobert, number 27. Type 45 for Donovan Mitchell. I think Gobert fits what this team needs more, but I think Mitchell's a better player, so it's kind of, it's kind of hard to say, right? I would certainly take either of these guys in Dallas. Let us know, 27 for Gobert or 45 for Mitchell. Now, you guys can go bet on some NBA games down the stretch and into the postseason with our sportsbook partners, BetUS. Get going today at chatsports.com/MFFL. Promo code MFFL to get started and get that 125% deposit bonus. These are the updated title odds. Mavs not a top 5 favorite yet. And by the way, these odds, don't go bet on Brooklyn. The fact that they're still plus 650 is ridiculous. I like Milwaukee's value at plus 550. They're the defending champs. Boston at plus 900 is good play. Dallas worse than plus 1,000. I think those are actually decent, dark horse odds there for a team that can make a run. Chatsports.com/MFFL. Promo code MFFL to get started today. All right, before we sign off, some minor playoff picture updates after last night's games. When we had a video yesterday following the Mavs win over the Bucks, the Nuggets were in action against the Lakers. They ended up winning. The Warriors had a game that night. They hammered the Kings. So here's where we sit entering the final week of the season. Again, top 2, nothing's going to change there. Phoenix will be 1. Memphis will be 2. Golden State picked up that win, so they're a game ahead of Dallas. But remember, Dallas has the tiebreaker. So Dallas, you win your final 3. Golden State slips up once, you'll get the 3 seed. Denver picked up a win, so Dallas isn't completely out of the woods there for the 5 seed and below. They're at 47-32. Utah at 46-32, and then 7 through 10. The lowest Dallas can be currently is the 6 seed. So with 3 games to go, if you're the Dallas Mavericks, you're currently the 4 seed, but still in a position to move up to 3. Here's how the bracket plays out. If the playoffs started today, Phoenix, the 1, they would play the 8 seed, which will be determined in the play-in tournament. We'll show that in just a second. Dallas, Denver would be that 4-5 matchup, which would feed into the winner of Phoenix and the 8 seed. Golden State, Utah in the 3-6 matchup, and then Memphis against the 7 seed, which emerges from the play-in tournament. Here's how the play-in tournament sits right now. Minnesota and the Clippers, that will be that matchup. The only thing left to figure out is 9 and 10. Looks like New Orleans will likely lock up the 9 seed soon, but is it going to be the Spurs or the Lakers? Looks like it's probably going to be the Spurs, as they're up 2 games with just a handful of games to go. The way I see this, Mavs need to win out. You win your final 3, give yourself a chance to get that 3 seed. Now, Golden State doesn't have Murderer's Row schedule left, but give yourself a chance for them to lose once. They've played better the last couple of games, but it's not like they've been super consistent, and Steph Curry's still out. It only takes one slip-up by them for you to go and take that 3 seed. Beat Detroit on Wednesday, come home, beat Portland, beat San Antonio. Those are 3 games you should win if you are the Mavs. If you do, I still think you have a good shot at getting that number 3 seed. So what seed do you believe the Mavs will end up with? I'm going to continue to speak positively. I think they're going to win out, and I think Golden State's going to slip up once. So the 3 seed. Let me know. 3, 4, 5, 6. What seed will the Mavs end up with? And be sure to subscribe to Mavericks Today.